Brian Powell of I Run Far here with Jorge Maravilla after a second place finish at the 2015 Tarawera Ultramarathon. Congratulations, Jorge.
Muchas gracias, amigo.
Another early season strong performance from you. It's becoming a norm.
I hope so. Thank you.
Yesterday, a couple guys went off the front early, just blazing. I mean, Yun and Robbie Britton just went off. And what do you think letting those guys go so early?
I thought it was fine. I thought it was like, it did feel initially like a track meet. I'm like, man, this is a fast course. These guys are moving. But I also know that, hey, this is 100K. It's not a race to the first aid station, you know. But they did go out impressively hard. I didn't see them until probably at least halfway through the race or something. So
yeah, and at Okataina Lodge, or Okataina Lake, was about 23 miles in, Debo caught you. And I'm sitting there thinking, Debo and Jorge are just going to go run together for a while. That didn't happen, did it?
No. Impressive. Big congratulations to Dylan on that, and impressive performance. But when he caught me, I mean, we were running together most of the time, not far apart, but then he caught me, and then he made a very impressive, aggressive move not long after that aid station. And it was just something that for me at that moment wasn't something that I could, you know, jump on board with. I was like, oh. And so I just kind of held back a little bit, and then I just saw him take off. And in my mind, I'm like, I got to keep him within reach. Just kind of had a few situations happen there, though, too, that held me back. I kind of felt my calves cramping up, which was surprising, being it was so early on, and tried to run through it, but I realized, you know what, let's stop and assess the situation. I stopped and stretched my calves out on a tree trunk, took down some fuel and some salt, and then kept rolling, and all was good. But I just try to maintain patient and efficient out there.
And when did you go by Yun and Robbie?
The aid station, I believe, just before Tarawera Falls.
So Tarawera Outlet.
Yeah. Yep, right around there.
60K.
Yeah, and I understand they were pretty much together, literally separated by maybe 50 yards. So once I caught Robbie, then I caught Yun, and it's like, okay, it's okay. There's still a lot of race to go. I was feeling pretty good then, and then just, you know, at that point there was still just a lot of good running. So I felt strong there, just really biomechanically efficient, which was my whole point of maintaining throughout the rest of the race. So I felt good to be like, whoa, I'm in podium position now. This is great, but it's not over until you cross the finish. So
in multiple regards, there's people running fast behind you, and you got your buddy Debo ahead of you. Are you thinking in that last 40K anytime, I'm gonna go get Debo? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, super stoked he was up there, but I was also like, yeah, this is runnable. I want to go get him. I want to go catch him. And there was that mental, you know, drive to get after it. But it seemed like, I think also he was like, my boy Jorge is chasing me down, and you know, we train together. We know each other so well that I think he's also pretty well aware, knowing that, damn, this is pretty runnable. The next few sessions, I could possibly have ran hard and tried to catch him. But it wasn't the case, but it's still a fantastic result, you know, for us both.
Yeah. When you kind of realized you couldn't catch him, did your mind switch to any other goals?
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. Once I realized that our distance was consistent in terms of the time separation, it's funny in these enduring events how your goals change throughout. And essentially got to the point where I said, you know what, at this point, no matter if I was dropping sub 6 minute pace, there's no way I'm going to catch Dylan. It's just not possible. Yeah. So I, at that point, just focused on, you know what, stay biomechanically efficient, don't do any damage, and just stay focused and enjoy this moment, and don't get caught, you know. And so I just stayed efficient. I stayed really smooth in the last part. I was pretty surprised how well I was able to be upright and just in really good form, you know, essentially. So yeah. And
do you think, it's hilly in Mill Valley, but there's also a lot of really runnable trail. Do you think the terrain around there really helped you and Debo have such a strong performance this time of year?
I would say so. Honestly, I was looking at some of the course, and while I was there, it very much strongly reminded of an incredible trail we had back home, Kent Trail, which is this like single track trail that runs right along these lakes. And I mean, there was sections of this course where I'm like, I feel like I'm in Kent Trail. Or even some sections that reminded me of, you know, Muir Woods, where there's just fern and a lot of roots and whatnot. So it was, I think, certainly having our epicenter trail grounds as our training ground for us to then come and race in a place like this that's just remarkable and beautiful in its own way, but that can play to our strengths. It was very beneficial.
So where else will we see you race in the near future?
Well, we'll assess how well I'm recovering. I mean, this is the day after. My legs are feeling pretty good, honestly. I'm not wobbling. I'm walking fairly normal. Scheduled for Way Too Cool, fast 50K. I've not done that race in about 5 years and quite a while ago. But also quite possibly down in April, going to Ultra Trail Fjord 100 miler. And we'll see what May, June plays out, or July, in terms of some kind of race that hopefully can emulate the possibilities of replicating, you know, what it's like for UTMB. I'd like to go to UTMB and hopefully do well there.
So maybe something a little more mountainous, long, like a Lavaredo perhaps, or something like that?
Lavaredo, maybe Buff Epic Trail.
Yeah, something, okay.
Something really difficult with big mountains, you know. I think for me, as part of an athlete, is now I don't just want to embrace some of that leg turnover speed that I have in races like this, but I also want to have versatility and compete in big mountain races against some of the big mountain runners as well, and also just the joy of, you know, getting to know new community, new terrain, and enjoying it.
Well, nice, Jorge. Great run yesterday, and good luck with the rest of your season.
Thank you, and thank you for your incredible coverage, as always, supporting this sport and just all the great things you do.
My pleasure.